William Dorsett, followed by Cat Pike.
Here we go. Hello, you guys have seen me here before. I'm speaking on non-agenda public item. 805, the vending and expressive activity code is unacceptable the way it currently is. It steps all over constitutional rights, and even the port administration officers basically admitted that by saying, hey, you know, if you're protesting or filming us outside of a box, you have every First Amendment right to do that. But other expressive activities, for some reason, need to be put in a little green box. I wonder if I brought little baby t-shirts, if all of y'all could put one of those on. Probably not, because, you know, we're all different sized as adults, and, you know, most adults can't fit into baby clothing. Yet you have taken expressive activity, free speech, art, and you said, you've got to be in a little box or else we'll give you a $250 fine. If you do it again, we'll give you a $500 fine. And again, it's a $1,000 fine. And over to people who are just out expressing themselves, trying to create a beautiful environment within the port. Meanwhile, these same officers that are willing to write tickets to people expressing themselves admit that other people can express themselves outside the boxes. So the enforcement is not solid. It's very selective and it's unconstitutional. It doesn't pass the three-prong test. It's not narrow. It's not content neutral. And the final thing is it doesn't allow us to reach our intended audiences. The port created a spot specifically for spray paint art, yet I haven't been able to set up in that spot because the port allows everyone else and their dog to set up. So I go to the nearest area I can reach my intended audience, the Midway, and I get a citation for $250 for being there. My daughter, watching my stand while I was disposed, got a $250 citation just for being at my stand watching it when I should have got the ticket. They are admitted on video that any person that comes and stands by my stand and watches it while I'm disposed, if they were nice and took money for me for some of my art, they would get a citation from these officers. This code is extremely broad and unconstitutional, and you shouldn't wait until September to get this solved, because this is an issue that can bring litigation, and we need to solve it sooner rather than later, because every time one of us gets a ticket, that litigation fee can go up. Let's solve this, let's work on this, let's create a better port for expressive activities and not stifle First Amendment rights, which is what is currently going on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Dorsett.
Cat Pike.
Hi there. So first I'd like to say my condolences to the person who got robbed. I hope that their situation gets resolved, and also I agree the ferries to Coronado should be free. I am speaking as a busker, as my dad said, that I was cited when he was disposed, and I even offered to comply. I said I could pack up because I was trying to deal with that situation, and the officer didn't care. With the citation, do you know what the process is? There are two outcomes. So you submit the appeal if you decide to go that route. Once you receive a letter in the mail for your scheduled Zoom hearing with an administrative officer, you attend the Zoom hearing, hoping the officer isn't biased. Then at the end of the hearing, you are told that you will receive the results in the mail within 3 to 5 business days. You're told you cannot have them at that moment. And either you get a letter saying it was dismissed, or when you receive the letter, like I did, it says in 2 different places, one that I have 7 days to respond, and in a different spot, it says I have 20 days to respond to Superior Court. So it contradicts itself in the letter. And then half the people don't know where to go for the citation appeal after the Zoom hearing. I went down to the Kearny Mesa Court. They said to go down to Superior Court. I go down to Superior Court Appeals Office. They say to go to the business office in the same building. The business office says to go to the civil business office. The civil business office sends me back to the appeals office. This appeals office sends me back to Kearney Mesa, and at this point, the Kearney Mesa office is about to close. And every one of them said they never seen a letter like that. They weren't informed on how to deal with that situation. And it doesn't seem fair and just for those who can't access a phone either. I've talked to people who are disabled, who are unable to access a phone for their Zoom hearing. How are they going to be able to attend a Zoom meeting if they can't access a phone, if they want to appeal the ticket? And a lot of us who received a citation don't have a lot of money. And there are options where we can request for it to be reduced, but that's still money from our pockets to feed ourselves, to feed our families. And it really is not okay. And I just hope you're able to fix it, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pike.
This concludes non-agenda